Dear children, welcome to the second chapter, Physical Features of India. As we all are doing the topic of Peninsular Plateau, we have completed its first part of Central Highlands. Let us see the second part or the second division of the Peninsular Plateau. River Narmada is acting as the dividing line of the Peninsular Plateau. The part above or north of River Narmada is the Central Highlands, whereas the part lying south of River Narmada is the Deccan Plateau. So Deccan Plateau, to define, is the part lying south of River Narmada. If you will see in the first picture, it is approximately a triangular shape landmass. So this is the main feature of the Deccan Plateau. We all are aware our city and our state is located on the Deccan Plateau. Now regarding Deccan Plateau, it is bounded by Satpura's hills on its north. As we can see over here, the Satpura hills, they are given Satpura hills, above which is River Narmada, and then above that we have Vindhya ranges. So Vindhya ranges are bounding the Central Highlands, but Satpura ranges are bounding the northern part or northern boundary of the Deccan Plateau. If you will see, there are some more hills are found. Mahadev Hills, Kaimur Hills, these are also located in the Deccan Plateau. Michael Hills, these are all marking the eastward extensions. Western and Eastern Ghats are marking its eastern and western boundary, as you will see. So it is very clearly seen that Deccan Plateau from all sided you will have, it's bounded by few or other mountain ranges are there. So it is a very well fit triangular landmass inside these higher land masses, that means the highest mountain ranges, one of the highest mountain ranges. Moving to the next characteristics, Deccan Plateau is higher on the west and sloping gently towards the east. It means that Deccan Plateau's western margins, they are higher. As you will see, the rivers are originating from here and then they are draining into the Bay of Bengal. So this is a clear indication that western side of the Deccan Plateau is higher, whereas the eastern margins of the Deccan Plateau is lower. It means the slope is from west to east. Clear? So rivers, as they always indicate the slope. Rivers generally flowing from Western Ghats towards the Bay of Bengal via Eastern Ghats. Its easternmost extension is in Meghalaya. Yes, it is very far, but Deccan Plateau's easternmost extension is Meghalaya. Now you have the place of Deccan Plateau. This is a Deccan Plateau over here, whereas a separated part of Deccan Plateau is found in Meghalaya. Now how we have done that? Because the rock structure, the content, all these things are matching with the Meghalaya rock structure. In Meghalaya also we have the plateaus and the hilly regions. Now how these two regions have got separated? These have got separated by a big fault, that means a gap, and that is created by the river Ganga. As the river Ganga has eroded the complete central part, there is a big fault, that means a big gap is being created, and because of that the Deccan Plateau has got separated from the Meghalaya, or Meghalaya has got separated from the Deccan Plateau. The eastward extension Meghalaya, it is also called as Karbi Anglong Plateau and North Kachar Hills. Here, as you can see over there, that this is the part of the Deccan Plateau or the complete Peninsular Plateau. This is river Narmada, and then from here the river Ganga, and here you have the separated part of the Deccan Plateau. So eastward extension is the Meghalaya, Karbi Anglong Plateau and North Kachar Hills. Meghalaya separated from Chotanagpur Plateau also by a fault, that is a gap of river Ganga. Now in this separated part we have three prominent hills. They are in sequence, they are known as Garo, Khasi and Jaintia. Now Garo, Khasi and Jaintia, they are located in this particular section. So you have Garo, Khasi and Jaintia location which are here. First range Garo, the second is Khasi and Jaintia. Now this is a place also where India is getting its maximum amount of rainfall, and not only of India's but world's highest rainfall is received in the Khasi Hills, and Khasi Hills only we are having the location of Cherrapunji and Mawsynram where the world's highest rainfall is received. So these are all funnel shaped and the hilly regions these are. So here a few examples as pictures has been given. Garo Hills, we have Khasi Hills and the Jaintia Hills, few clippings are there. Now the important discussion in the Deccan Plateau is regarding the difference between the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. You yourself will also try to find out some more differences in Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Few of the important points regarding Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats are noted down over here, or they are pointed over here. Like Western Ghats. Now Ghats basically, if you will go with the literal meaning, that means the road system. So Western Ghats, they are not the name given to the mountain ranges. The mountain ranges are present over there, but then whatever road systems we have developed in those mountains, they are called as Ghats. As you might have travelled by the roads in the mountainous region, there it is always written that Ghat, Prarambha and all. It means the road system in the mountainous region starts. So the road system, Western Ghats. Whereas the Western Ghat mountains, they are also having the local names which we will be discussing here also. So marking the western edges of the Deccan Plateau, it means it is located on the western side of the Deccan Plateau. It is the most continuous range. Now there is a reason, because most of the rivers are originating from here, so they don't cause much of the erosion in this part. Whereas in the Eastern Ghats, the rivers are going and draining into the Bay of Bengal. So the complete Eastern Ghats are eroded, and as a result Eastern Ghats are broken, but Western Ghats are continuous. It is so much continuous that if you want to cross the Western Ghats, we have to look for the passes. Passes, that means the gaps in between. So it can be only crossed through the passes. Highest range of the Deccan Plateau, it is highest in the Deccan region. Its average height is 900 to 1600 meters. Most of the rivers are originating from here, and the highest peak of Western Ghat is Anaimudi with 2695 meters and Dodabetta with the 2637 meters. Something more about Western Ghat. Western Ghat has a special feature. It receives orographic rainfall. Now what is orographic rainfall? Orographic rainfall, that means for that you need of course a water body, and as we have the Arabian Sea present on the western margins of the Western Ghats. The higher elevated regions, these are the Western Ghats, and generally the direction of the wind, especially the monsoon winds, the monsoon winds direction is southwest. That means they move from this side. So this is the actual scenario which is present in the Western Ghats. Now what happens? The winds which are originating from the Arabian Sea, they carry moisture. And as they are moving towards this side, they are getting a huge barrier of the mountain. Now due to this barrier, what will happen? The wind cannot go down. The wind will start moving upwards. And as it starts moving upwards, what happens? The temperature reduces. So the moisture laden hot wind is going upward, and there the temperature has reduced. It means the cooling has occurred, and due to the cooling, what will happen? The water droplets will be formed, and one side of the Western Ghat, that is this side, this complete yellow shaded region, this will be receiving the rainfall. And this happens in the Western Ghats throughout the year because the Arabian Sea and the direction of the wind is towards that. Whereas the next part, that is this side, will not receive much rainfall because the winds are not able to cross the mountain and go over there, as they are heavy winds, they are moisture laden winds, and hence that region is called as rain shadow. Rain shadow, it means rainfall doesn't reach over there much, whereas this side will receive huge rainfall. And hence we experience, that is Goa, Konkan, Kerala, Mumbai, these regions they receive very heavy rainfall, whereas the Marathwada region, which is on the another side, it is a dry region, so rainfall doesn't reach over there. So the type of rainfall which Western Ghats they receive is the orographic rainfall. Such kind of rainfall is called as orographic rainfall. Local names of the Western Ghats, they are Sahyadris in Maharashtra, we call it as Sahyadri hilly regions. Nilgiris, they are called as in parts of Karnataka, Kerala and some parts of Tamil Nadu also. And in South Kerala and some places of Tamil Nadu, the Western Ghats are also called as Cardamom Hills. Moving to the Eastern Ghats. They mark the eastern edges of the Deccan Plateau. They are very much discontinuous and irregular. They are not continuous. As the reason is given here, they are dissected by the rivers which are draining into the Bay of Bengal. Average height is less as they are very much eroded, 600 meters. Most of the rivers they drain from here. They are not originating, they are mixing into the oceans from here. Highest peak is Mahendragiri, that is 1501. We have famous places like Chevroy Hills, Javadi Hills are located here. Ooty, Kodaikanal, these are the hill stations also which are present in the Eastern Ghats. Now something more about the Peninsular Plateau. Peninsular Plateau and the Deccan Plateau mainly is composed of the black soil, and this is also called as Deccan Trap. Now complete Peninsular Plateau is made out of igneous rock, that is lava. Lava has come up, it has cooled down, and from that rock the Peninsular Plateau is being made, and that's why it is oldest landmass also. It was a part of Gondwana land, so it is the oldest landmass. And because it is oldest, we experience the landforms are denuded, that means they are lot of them are eroded, and hence this region is not having very pointed peaks, fast flowing rivers. Our valleys are also not I shaped and V shaped, very deep. What kind of physical features we have over here? Our hills are blunt, our rivers are very much shallow and they are wide. The valleys are also U-shaped because it is the oldest landmass. It had been open to the erosion since many years. So Himalayas, as you have studied, it is the young formation, whereas the Peninsular Plateau, this is the oldest formation. Now regarding Aravallis, which are Aravalli ranges which are important. Aravallis we find in the places Rajasthan today. Otherwise it is extending from parts of Gujarat to Delhi. But then these ranges, they are also called as oldest hilly ranges. This is the oldest mountain ranges, Aravallis. And they are also known as broken ranges. As I told you, they have been open to lots of erosional action. So we don't find them very continuously. They have been broken at number of places. So these were the few characteristics of the Peninsular Plateau and the Deccan Plateau. Thank you.